I have an episode title, Chris, when you want to type it in.
I just always type in the
Alright.
same thing because you got to like. There's so many clicks involved.
Oh,
Just get it going streaming. I don't know. We're live
gotcha.
though.
Have you used this new axe on what you've been recording lately, or is it just like freshly new, picked up?
No, it's
recently?
freshly new. I just set it up and everything.
Oh, okay.
I got it nice low action.
So
That's
close.
one of my dream guitars right there. Worked really, really fucking hard to be able to own one of those.
Are you sitting crisscross applesauce?
Huh?
We're
Are you
live.
sitting crisscross applesauce?
Who, me? What am I, a fag? Yeah,
Does look like you're sitting on the floor.
I am sitting on the floor. I sit on the floor sometimes.
I love
good.
that. Those native
Well, see,
roots.
because there's still a cushion back here of my couch.
Yeah, man, I get it.
I don't feel like
Like
you
it.
do.
No, I do
We-
get it.
We're
No,
not
trust
judging
me.
you.
You know what? I don't like your tone. You know what tone I do like though?
Green machine.
Yeah, y'all need to
Anybody
help
have
me
one of
name it.
those when
Oh
you
wait,
were a
hold on.
kid?
Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back.
Did you have one of those, Christopher? A green machine? Like it had like the little shifters. It was like a big wheel with a shifter.
No, 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 no. I had just a classic big wheel at the time. It was like
Okay.
the yellow, blue, red one.
Yeah.
Other kids had the green machine, but then like I noticed that like that kind of stuff would break.
Yeah. My cousin had one and it broke and he was jealous of my big wheel.
And then that classic big wheel just like will never die.
Probably find one today.
Yeah, we have
Vintage.
one in the garage.
You do?
It's pink, but it's like a hand-me-down from a hand-me-down. It just won't
Won't quit.
calm capsule.
What I got.
Nice. Good for you, buddy.
I'm gonna try that.
You sleeping
night.
and pooping.
Oh wait, you didn't mention the second part.
Sprinkle
never
that
do.
on. You can sprinkle it on salads, your favorite meats.
Yeah,
Beef,
well, as long
fish,
as my
poultry.
water doesn't taste like shit.
Poor thing. Side effects. They don't tell people about the side effects.
Yeah, they definitely don't. Well, it's funny whenever you go to pick up a prescription, the I guess the pharmacist, they'll always ask you, be like, hey, you got any questions about this? I'm like, no, just give me my shit and get the fuck out of my face. Then you just
Yeah.
peel out.
Yeah, it's like
That's what I do. I don't know.
you should be like, I don't know. Do you have any questions about this?
Yeah, you
Should
want some
I
of this?
have questions?
Yeah, well, they'll be like, they used to like give you a couple quick things and be like, oh, it causes drowsiness, don't drive, all that shit. But now they'll just be like, hey, you got any questions? You'd be like, no. And they're like, cool. Go overdose.
work for me to
and die.
do.
It's like, look, I got to ask you these questions,
Yeah, go overdose.
I
and
gotta
die.
ask
I already
you
got
if you
your
wanna-
money.
It's like, I got to ask you if you want to like, if you want to supersize this or if you want to add on any chicken nuggets. I also got to ask you if you got any questions about this medication.
Yeah.
Just part of the
some people
script.
are saying that they're out of the ADHD drugs. And I saw a girl on TikTok today that said that they drug test her when she comes in to get her ADHD drugs. And she wasn't testing positive for the ADHD drugs that she was taking. I guess she like would trip some sort of amphetamine thing on a drugs panel. And she said that it's not tripping the amphetamine because they're giving placebo because they're out of the ADHD.
They
I
should
don't
be
know if
like,
that's true or not, allegedly, but
they should be like,
that
here's the
seems-
deal. If you want your medication, we're going to need you to drop down and do 50 push-ups.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's not what I say.
Yeah, if you had access, right?
Well, and it's like, and then give them a placebo and they'll be like, I feel better.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping for. This lady's like, I am not feeling better. And I felt like something was going on. And
Or
I
they'll
asked
be
them to
like, have you heard about this war in Ukraine?
test.
Have we?
Have you
Are
changed
we already
your,
like going? Are we already?
Oh, by the way,
Oh.
go ahead. Start recording the
have
audio.
you, have you
Chris.
changed your have you put the Ukraine flag in your bio yet?
Whenever I see that now, I'm
Record.
just like, ugh.
All
I
right,
think it's so
three.
old now that some
Two, one.
people have put the Ukraine bio Ukraine flag in their bio and they've forgotten about it
Yeah.
because they did it like a year ago.
This would be a good topic to start the show off with.
Is that, yeah, that could be the biggest lie. Yeah. All right. Well, okay.
Or the
Three,
best
2,
intro.
1. Right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Good
Chris?
evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 145 of your Endless Ranters podcast. Thanks for listening, watching, and subscribing. We truly appreciate the support. My name is Chris. I'm one of your hosts for this evening. I'm joined by a woman in her prime. It's Quana. How you doing?
Just staying steady in my prime.
Steady in your prime. Okay. And it's the man with the plan. It's producer Manny. What's going down, mole man?
Fuck me, y'all. I'm Irish. Cheers.
Oh yeah. Happy Saint yeah.
Damn, drinking the 818.
St. Patrick's Day. Robbie
Yeah.
Spotlight is enjoying life with kids, passing colds around to each other. And so he's resting. He needs rest because as a resident of San Francisco, he owes a lot of reparations.
And he's sick of the bullshit, so he needs time out. He needs to
Yeah, that's
rest.
true. Yeah. Yeah. So what I was going to do tonight was just sit here and read real life headlines describing the end of the world to make Quana cry. But then Jaden was like, hey man, I don't have any plans tonight. What's up? So here we are. What's the biggest lie we should start with? You said Ukraine.
No, you said Ukraine, but
I said Ukraine flags in the bio, and you said that's a good topic we should start tonight's show off with.
yeah, well,
Or whatever.
turns out you do
whatever
the
you think.
slightest bit of research and they're just as big of assholes as Russia. So that's all that happened. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, some would argue they're kind of very like one and the same, and it's like really, it's not so simple.
Yeah, it's not
One
that.
year ago when the war started and my brother and his wife were like, we were over at their house and we got into like kind of a elevated conversation about it because I was, there's Biden money over there. Like I was like, the people that were talking about the stuff that they talk about, like I believe them because they've been right throughout COVID. So I call them the crunchy moms, but like the crunchy moms were like, no, it's not the deal. And it's
Yeah,
just
but-
not. It turns out that we're a year and a half into it and it's not the deal. It's not.
Yeah, by the way, that's
It's
not Biden's money. That's our money.
I
But
know.
I know what you're saying. I just
I'll
wanted
say
to
what I
make,
said.
I
I'll
just
No,
wanted
no,
to
no.
make
I'm
it
talking about the
worse.
money that they're laundering, like his personal money being laundered over there. I'm talking about his actual money that he's laundering to bring back to himself. I was
It
talking about
sure
his.
seems like
his pocket.
we're on the brink, and I'll just kick it off with what I said earlier today. Like it should be said that in 2019, before China put the COVID on us, and then we just
China.
before we tore ourselves apart during an election year after China put the COVID on us, but then we paid for it, like in 2019, things were pretty good. Like we had just come out of this phase where half the country thought that our president, was a Russian agent. Donald Trump was making North Korea and Kim Jong-un or whatever his bitch. He was our bitch. He was making jokes to Putin's face about if Putin attacked our ally, he would nuke Moscow. Like he was making jokes about this, like like it's not like it was nothing. Everybody was like, "Ooh, yeah, okay." Everybody was like, "Okay, respect, man, respect."
Yeah.
And
Mushroom cloud is gonna be huge.
yeah, and our economy was going pretty good, all the people with TDS were starting to like take their antibiotics and simmer down a bit. Yeah, and then China did the COVID on us. That just has to be said, like, right or wrong. I'm not saying that Trump is the right guy for the job now or in the future, but man, like all these things that have us on the brink just were the exact opposite 4 years ago.
Yeah.
They lied about literally everything. So
Every
it's
chance
like,
they
it's hard to
fucking
even
got,
pick a
man.
place.
Yeah, and you're just like, what they lie about? When they lie, I'm like, every chance they got about everything.
Continually.
Where are you? Like, what have you been watching?
My arguments with Dylan and his likings, is that a
If
did
you go
I
to
say that right?
Vegas,
Did I use that word correctly? I don't know. I'm high.
Dylan.
If you go to Vegas and
No
pull a
likings.
slot, if you go to Vegas and pull a slot machine 100 times in a row and you win nothing, like
Cursed.
you need to stop, or you need to be put in a straitjacket. That's what I'm saying.
Well, he thinks they're winning. That's what I'm saying. He's like, well, do you know Biden did this?
Yeah, he's like,
He's
oh,
like,
this casino
tells-
feeds a lot of natives. This casino makes the local economy go around, as I lose all my money.
Well, that's actually true in some places, but as long as you know that you're losing money, I've actually, I was thinking about
It's
going
when the people, they convince people like losing money is a good thing. Like that's when
Yeah.
we're really upside down. Like, oh, your currency is devaluing. You should not worry about it. This is fine.
Yeah. And then he was like, you know who I like? Kamala Harris. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I
That would
swear
have
to
been my
God.
top 3 guesses.
He's trolling you at this point.
That's
Why
what
Why
she
are you
would
friends
think.
with Dylan? Why are you friends with Dylan?
I don't. He's a good guy. He's
The
just
same reason you
young.
keep like a goldfish in a bowl on your desk. You're just like, I'm going to look at this creature.
Oh no, he's a fun guy outside of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not even a political guy, but when he'll say shit about politics. I'm like, you know that you're like 1,000% wrong, right? And he'll be like, no, blah, 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 blah. Dylan talks. He sounds like,
Mickey Mouse.
yeah, and and I get ganged up on. Like literally, I was just telling somebody this last night. Like, I actually lost like sort of friendships and like relationships, like because of the whole because of like COVID and everything, the context and politics and everything. I mean, I burned enough bridges on my own. Y'all know how I roll. But it was like now it's like I've actually lost respect for people, and like they lost just like all of their credibility. And it's over something that it's not even like
You don't have a dog
I'm
in
like,
a fight.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
like, I don't even
it's
get like why are we even arguing? I was just telling you that like I wouldn't walk around saying that because he would just say shit like that. He's like, but Biden's gonna be the best president ever. And I was like,
yeah, I really,
we can
I
argue
think
all
like,
day about if he's gonna be if he's gonna be competent. We know he's gonna be really bad. So, but you just said he's gonna be the best ever, and that's where I gotta intervene. I'm like, don't say that. Like, stop saying. He didn't actually say that, to be
I
fair.
think
It would
think
be
anybody
stuff
that,
like that.
yeah. Anybody that says like he'd be the best president ever, you should say, name every president. And then
I
they
want
can't,
everyone to
and then
remember
they
that
cannot.
he was
And then it's
interviewed
like, you
by
have no
Cardi
idea what you're
B.
talking about.
That our current sitting president was interviewed by Cardi B before we elected him into office by Cardi B.
He was
The
just
WAP.
copying.
She sung about the WAP.
He was copying Trump
Sang
though,
a song
because
about WAP.
Trump had like Kanye rolling up in the office, and he was just trying to copy, but with like a phony, like plastic, weird Cardi B type character.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, watching them interview, it was like, man,
It was like Biden trying to be real. It's like, all right.
I want to
Oh,
use so many words
man.
that it's like not politically correct at all to
This
use.
is so bad.
But it was
We should have seen
like
this coming.
the 2 letters involved are N and R, and it's
There's
one
like
interview
40
with the other.
There's 45% of the country that did see it coming. And there's like 48% of the country that didn't see this coming. And it's like, okay.
If I saw this coming, that's when we have a problem, because I didn't actually.
You weren't paying attention.
I mean, I was paying attention, so I like. How can you not? Like, you
No,
just.
you're part of the. You're part of the.
I used to not pay attention. Now you can't even
Right.
help it. It's all
You're part of
over
a large
everywhere.
part of the group population that's just like, like things break, I fix them. I do things. Like there's a cause and effect, and like I go to work every day, and that's how I pay my bills, and like that's kind of how it's always been done. And I feed myself, and you're just like part of the, like a large group of people that have these basic thoughts, like if I want a place to live, I've got to pay for it. Like,
Yeah.
and there's
Well,
like
I'm glad
another
you know
group of
these
there's
things
like,
about me.
there's like another group of people out there. It's like there's like a larger
I
group
know.
of
I'm
people
glad you
out
know all
there.
these secrets.
I do. I'm a mind reader.
Don't you do that too?
I don't have. Yeah, of course. Yeah, like
Okay, I was just making sure I was.
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
It wasn't just you.
I don't need a lot of facts to go off. All I need is a hunch.
Yeah.
and a little
Well,
bit
you
of time
said
and a
you're
little bit
one
of
of these
airtime.
guys. You should have been like, we're one of these guys.
You're right.
We're two in the same. You know, we're all this guy.
But
Everybody.
I was
Here,
saying you're part of a group that I'm obviously part of a group of.
oh, you said that. Okay, I missed that part. But
I
You're
thought it
in
was
our
obviously
group.
I'm part
You're
of
in
a
our
group
group,
of this
Jaden.
group that's like, yeah, you're part of the group that's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What's going on? You know,
I don't know why everybody's not asking that question. It's just the problem is some people think they know the answer, and
there's a lot of people just
the people that
yeah.
the people that are most confident that they have the answer are the people that I trust the least to give me a good answer.
Well, also because
know what I mean?
that their answers are always changing because they're just NPCs going around parroting the latest thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Was it what's the bank that just went south?
SBB.
Silicon
SVB.
Valley. Yeah.
Silicon
Yeah.
Valley Bank and First Republic Bank and Credit Suisse Bank.
Well,
and,
yeah, no, it was I think it was
Signature Bank and like
the
there's
first, yeah, Silicon Valley. They don't, didn't they make like a $72 million donation to like
$73 billion reparation. I mean, donation to Black
I
Lives
don't think
Matter.
I don't think it was billion. What I heard was
73
million.
million. Yeah, 73 million. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, not that it's going to the wrong thing. So I guess do whatever you want. The number doesn't really matter. I mean, it sort of does, but they gave 72 million to like BLM or something.
Wasn't the
here's
whole board women? Wasn't that the whole board were females too?
There was
right?
one.
Wouldn't surprise me.
There was one
I think-
person. There was one person on their board of directors that actually had an experience with banking whatsoever.
Right.
And the
And I
rest
think
of
they
them-
were all women though too.
It was the janitor that used to work at Chase.
yeah, it's like, yeah, female janitor. Of
Oh,
course.
it was also okay.
Chris,
Who's also
we don't see gender on the show. Okay,
a
Knock that
lesbian
off.
immigrant female janitor.
Okay. Well, then
Who
I
doesn't-
just,
Who doesn't
cross the
see
line.
who doesn't see color? I never said what color she was. Or maybe I did.
No,
I
they
don't-
were
I
all
don't really
white.
know.
They were all
well, in that
white.
case, she was a housekeeper.
Yeah,
for the
that's true.
banker.
Like there's like one person of color on the board where they're like diversity, everybody. Well, yeah, they didn't have a risk management officer, but the one picture I take away from this is like there's a bank that has a bunch of money and their whole thing is like we lend money out to really, really, really smart people who are starting up these genius companies. But we give these geniuses $50 million to start like the next robo dog missile technology. But then these really smart geniuses keep all the money in this bank where the $50 million, only $250,000 of that is insured.
Per person.
And these really smart geniuses have no idea how a bank works. They know how robot dogs work, the robot dogs that are going to attack us one day. They know how that stuff works, but they have no idea how a bank works. They don't even bother when they get this $50 million. Like, think about for a second what all of us would do if we like landed on $50 million. I'd be like, buy a bunch of shotguns and protect it. These people are.
I
Like,
was going to say cocaine and hookers, but
well, there's going to be a lot of
Thought you guys were
shotguns
the
involved.
same.
There's still going to be a lot of shotguns in that. In that.
well, we can get all three. I mean, it's $50 million.
But like these people,
I'll give you a good deal.
they were given
Cocaine, guns, and hookers.
These are geniuses that were given $50 million to like design robot dogs, but they never had the good sense to Google, is my money safe in this bank?
By the way, that's the worst way to get that information.
What a world.
Hey,
Well,
it's my mistake.
whatever dark
that
web
to
they
Google.
go on when they're trading pictures of children,
Yeah, well, have you used even Chat GPT?
just the simplest thing, like, hey Google or hey Siri or whatever, like, is this
Alexa.
like, what should I do with this? Like, what would happen? What should I do with this $50 million that I was just given? And these are really, really,
Just
really
like give it to Fauci.
These are supposed to be the
Obviously.
smartest people.
BLM immediately. I get all my money.
These are supposed to be the smartest people. They all did something collectively insanely stupid, which is keep millions and billions of dollars in a bank where a fraction of it was insured. And if anything went wrong, they would lose all of it. And then they had a really bad weekend last weekend. And then good news, everybody, they're totally safe. They got all their money back. Like,
Oh yeah, they're
totally,
incentivizing
totally bailed out.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
There you go.
thank goodness
And there's aliens.
thank good we
And everybody's
rescued
just
all
walking
these
around all
geniuses.
happy. The
Thank
banks
God
are
we
collapsing.
yeah.
And Chat GPT talked somebody in one of those help forums, convinced them that they were blind and they couldn't do the CAPTCHA themselves, and got somebody from the Just Help Me community to fucking figure out the CAPTCHA for them. So
That's
Chat
beautiful.
GPT is
That's fucking
living
beautiful.
their best life.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah.
terrible, but it's beautiful. Like I
Terrifying.
love when people find those
I agree.
loopholes
I
so quick.
agree. It
I know
is,
what I'm doing tonight.
it's horrible. It's frightening. It's also like
I'm hitting up my
It's-
grandma.
it's inspiring. It's like
memes. It's
it's
so
fascinating.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you in months.
Speaking of Trump,
Hey,
did you hear
give me
this
some
book he's
crypto.
releasing?
Am I fucking do it?
This book that Trump is releasing, it's genius. I wish I could do it. I might do it just for myself and my family. He's releasing a book that all it is copies of letters that former like celebrities in the past when they wrote him nice things. So he's releasing a book of nice
So it's
letters.
like 5 pages.
No, it's a bunch. It's a shitload,
People
dude.
loved
It's like
him.
it's
Oh,
a
so
lot.
the font is big.
He's released. No, man.
They're double
Like,
spaced too.
Trump
Yeah,
is
double spaced.
releasing. No, you don't get it. Trump is releasing a book of nice letters he received from celebrities before they hated him, which is
That's-
like
I love it.
hundreds.
That is actually
fucking love it.
hilarious.
Heads of
Because they all wanted to
state,
get on his show, remember?
Princess Diana, Oprah, Saudi
yeah.
princes, presidents, like every president, Obama.
I bet he has a letter from Kathy Griffin. I bet he has one from her too.
He has a
He's
letter.
got a letter from Jesus.
He has a letter from Hillary Clinton.
You sent me a letter. You sent me a letter. Everyone sent me letters.
See,
That
the average person would just throw them in the trash after like I don't even remember who this person is. But to him, he was like, I'm going to save these. I'm going to save these letters.
The longest con ever.
And
Oh
I'm
my
going to put them
God.
in a book when everybody hates me.
That
And
is
now-
actually
and the-
brilliant.
It is brilliant. The next level is like now when he releases this book, all of these celebrities are and their estates are having to release statements like saying, we didn't really mean that, but they're having to like talk about
Look, we were
Trump.
kidding.
They're having to talk about
This is
Trump.
beautiful. How do I not know about this?
They're having to talk about Trump.
I don't know.
They're having to be like they're having to
There's
put his
been gatekeeping.
name. They're having to put his name in their mouth.
This is hilarious. When does it come out? Fucking
The estate of
October
Prin-
2024.
Like the estate of Princess Diana, her heirs, the heirs to the English throne, are going to have to make a statement saying, well, our mom didn't really mean that. And we think Donald Trump is really bad. And he's our bad,
The bad
Yeah.
man.
They're like
All
asking
right.
him advice, like, dear fucking, was that bitch on the radio?
They sure were.
Abby.
Dear
I
Abby.
think he has one of the
Like,
samples. I wish I
Dear
could
Trump.
get more of them because
Dear Donnie.
he's smart because he kept them to himself. You got to buy the book, but one of them is like Oprah telling Donald Trump that one day we should run together for president and vice president.
Oh, it would even
That's
be better
beautiful.
if she actually meant jog. Like if she is like we should run together. Like we should literally jog together. Somehow that's better.
I'm not sure. I
it's
think
funnier, but
I think Oprah could jog nowadays, but her head is like gigantic
Oh my
compared to her
God, they
frail
both have
body.
gigantic heads.
Yeah,
I don't-
it's genius because like he like guarantees like by keeping those letters for the last 50 years, he guarantees himself another like 2 years in the news cycle.
if he
Love
puts
it.
that book, well, first of all, I'm buying it based on what
Me
you told
too.
me. I'm pre-ordering it. He's going to sell 1 bajillion copies of that book.
Dude sells NFTs
Oh yeah, the whole NFT
and they
thing.
sell out in like two
That's-
2 minutes.
I'm all down. I was all down with the cryptocurrency. I have like $1,000 somewhere in crypto. Yeah, you know what? Y'all should tell me.
I think
when
it's
to-
bad. It's bad now. It's not good now, but the joke is on the people like everybody was like laughing at the people that bought all the Trump NFTs like the first minute. But then what those people did is they sold it for like 5 times the amount, like 10 minutes later, and they're just laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah,
But everybody was mocking them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were like, get out of here with your fake currency. It was like, well, what the fuck are you trying to sell me? And
They were like,
currency we made up.
yeah, it's like, they were like,
Why
well,
do
I
you
have
like me
a
now?
feeling,
You know?
I just had a feeling that there might be like yeah, a bunch of people going crazy over this. So I'm going to get in first and then get out 10 minutes later and
Yeah, I had
call me a
somebody-
dummy all you want.
I had somebody basically trap me in a corner when we were drinking and stoned and broke it down for me, the whole crypto thing. And she was actually a really smart person, but like a loser from outer space. And that should have been, I don't know, somehow she's really smart. She just never,
Yeah,
all
losers
these-
from outer
all these-
space are smarter than the average human.
all that she, I mean, she owned her own place, like she owned a duplex that she rented out, which to me was kind of cool. You know, so she figured something out. It was like, I don't know anything about the real estate game. So when she would, but this is the same chick. I thought I told this story. I bought a bunch of like, not a bunch, but I bought foreign currency, like I bought like Nigerian rupees or whatever the fuck, or not. It was, I bought a bunch of foreign currency. Somehow, like
You had
in
me at Nigerian
Nigeria-
roofies.
No, yeah.
Rubles, rubles.
I forget what the fuck it is. I bought rupees, but I think that's like Israel or something. Whatever it is, I bought like Ethiopian dollars, I bought Nigerian dollars, I bought a bunch of this different stuff but I only paid like maybe $100 for all of these. Nigeria has a $1 trillion bill. And there's some story about it. Maybe it's not.
I think the US has like a $1 trillion coin or something, or the Federal Reserve just like
Yeah, no, but
makes
it was
coins yeah. I know what you're saying. Though. It's like,
The idea is basically, she explained to me, and I had heard about this before. What she explained to me was that a lot of economists are saying that eventually we're gonna have a universal currency. Like that's the way that they're seeing it going. And I've heard rumbles of that or whatever, but they,
yeah, it's part of the Great Reset, dude. It's
supposed to
straight up evil.
They're
Bad.
They're supposed to like there's supposed to be a universal currency, and once it does that, because the US dollar is so much higher than the other currency, once it levels out, the value of whatever that currency is, if you have it, it skyrockets. See, that makes sense to me. But like, what is
Also depends
backing
where
that up?
It depends where it really depends on where
Have
you
y'all
live.
heard of this, or am I just like making shit
a
up?
little bit? I mean, there's a lot
Little,
of like,
Foreign currency
yeah.
exchange is a thing. Like,
yeah, but it
people make
depends
money
where
at it.
you live. Like, you know, it depends where you live, I think. And there's no free lunch. It depends where you live. It depends on how much it costs you to buy a pound of ground beef and a dozen eggs. And
Well, it is all relative to where you live, that what the currency is technically worth. But you can be anywhere and do foreign currency exchange.
well,
Now, call me crazy. I don't think they're doing a whole lot of FCX or whatever in, Zimbabwe. Maybe
Only
I'm-
in Nigeria.
yeah.
or whatever, or wherever the fuck the money was. But either way, I bought it's funny. I don't even remember where the fuck it is. I know that I have it. I know I didn't throw it away, because the idea is that whenever we go to a universal currency, it's all going to level out, and theirs is going to actually appreciate to sort of, what would you call it? Like, I don't know. I'm not the financial
Tremendous
guy.
heights.
Yeah. Because the US dollar is so much like
But if that's
more
happening,
valuable once it goes to a universal currency. If you have a Zimbabwe $1 trillion bill, like I do, even though it says 1 trillion on the piece of paper, the value of it is way far down. And so if you have that currency, and and it is like certified, like there's websites you got to go to somehow that makes it more legit. and yeah, I went to
Like,
Google.
how is he not selling my oils? What the fuck? Like, I could get him easy, Jaden.
yeah,
We
for
gotta talk.
sure.
I'm
You
just
need
kidding.
to talk about some collagen multi-level marketing deals.
We got
Oh,
this
you think-
kid
but
buying
money,
Nigerian.
the thing about money, the thing
Y'all
about
think
money,
I'm trying to sell you this? I'm telling what I got sold into,
no,
because
I
it
think
sort of makes sense.
what the thing about money in the world and in the global economy is it's just funny money. Like,
That's the best
you
start
look-
to a sentence ever.
if you look into like why does the United States just print and give money to everyone around the world? It's because then they just spend it on our stuff and it props up the US dollar. If there's any like grand conspiracy, we don't know about it because they're just gonna at some point they're gonna collapse the whole thing. Everybody's gonna be on some digital currency,
It's gonna
and
happen on a Friday.
the people that
Be
think it's
prepared
going to
for that.
be the people that think it's going to be that are like planning for it and they think it's going to be awesome. Well, guess what? When the powers that be do this, they're going to be like, no more bailouts for you. You're not, like, and it's just,
Like,
it's not
oops, we
going to
ran
be,
out of
it's
bailouts.
not going to be what people think it's going to be. And like,
Yeah.
that kind of centralized power is just, we're already in it.
Well,
don't
they've
think
been talking about like a based on like your social status. So like if we would probably all be very low in the ability to spend and buy stuff because, maybe we didn't get a vaccine or maybe we
Well,
talked too much
we
shit
would all be
online.
okay as Americans because we live in the capital, and the capital as in like the Hunger Games. Like we're good. Like we have phones. We get to like argue about stupid shit and like abortion pills and whatnot, and like what's a man, what's a woman. We get to argue about this stuff as we frolic about.
Yeah.
And
Right.
meanwhile, there's like, literally right now, there's like thousands of children, like in cobalt
in
mines,
cages
like
somewhere.
Yeah.
digging stuff out with their fingers and giving it to their mom. Like they don't even have moms and dads, so it's like,
Yeah. Well, that's fine
right
and
now.
everything. I told you about how
well, let's have a good time.
how Alex Jones' ex-wife is breaking my balls.
I know.
Okay, so
And I told you about
digging
this
up the
Trump.
cobalt.
I told you about
I
this
mean,
Trump book too. Oh, and then also, did you guys see the Joe Biden epiphany this week?
No.
He
That
walked
he's
outside?
been-
No,
that
where
he's
he
been loving the gays since the 50s.
yeah,
since the
like
60s.
like he remembered when he had an epiphany.
Oh,
Like
that.
Can
Cal
y'all
Penn.
play this? Can we? Is there technology?
Manny, can you find the Joe
Give
Biden
me a
Cal
second.
Penn like 2 minutes where he has the epiphany?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. I was just curious.
No,
It's
no,
good.
we
It's a
should,
good
we
one.
should, because it's like it'll blow your mind, man. It's like this son of a bitch.
I
is just-
really doubt he's gonna blow my mind at this point, but I'll give it.
it's
a try.
just like
It's-
you're like, hey man, these guys are just making things up out of thin air, and then it's like they just make something even crazier up out of thin air.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Is that the
almost.
one where he said? I was gonna say he literally.
He was a
told-
senior in high school.
That's the first lie.
And,
Your
like,
dad wasn't dropping you off as a senior in high school. You were fucking driving. Okay.
Where
The drive
was-
age was like 17 back then. It was way younger. Like
Where
he was
was
driving.
his dad dropping him off when he was a senior in high school, when there were like office buildings and like fully suited
Yeah.
gay men kissing?
They said that building is like 7 miles away from where the school, like it's ridiculous. The whole
I've got an
thing is
idea
just
where
a
the
big,
Biden-
fat
I'm starting to have
lie.
an idea where the Biden family trauma began. It's like with Grandpa Biden, like just taking Joe Biden to like weird places where gay men are kissing in suits.
He's like, I remember grandfather used to take me to a speakeasy. There's guys making out wearing fedoras.
Man, he's gonna find it. It's
They were
like
wearing spats.
we're like
That.
we're like embellishing on it, but we don't do it justice to the original material where he's telling this stuff to Cal Penn, who again is like, is Cal Penn a real
this
human?
is recent. The footage was taken.
This is like in the
recent.
last week.
Oh,
This was
okay.
the Daily Show.
It-
Well, I thought you were. It sounded for a second like you were saying this was like unearthed footage from like the 80s.
Well,
No,
he, no, I'm saying that Joe Biden is unearthing fake footage in his brain from like the 50s.
Oh yeah, he's shot.
Yeah,
He's- He's a goner. He's gonna die any day now. And
he's full on The Notebook. You know what I mean? Those two old crazy people at the end.
I didn't know you were a fan of the Notebook, Chris.
I'm not. I'm not a
He's
fan of
also a fan
elder.
of the
I'm not a
cock.
fan of elder abuse at all. All
I
right.
know, it's so horrible. That's exactly what's happening. It's
I
elder
know there's
abuse.
this crazy man that's like going in and like bothering this old lady, like trying to make up stuff.
I found
That-
the video, but it's like the entire interview, not the just the clip. Hold on. Keep talking.
Okay,
is there a highlights?
but you know,
In
Cal
his
Penn
case-
is.
In his case, it would be low lights.
Do you know who Cal
probably.
Penn is, right?
He
Are you
looks
ta-
kind
are
of
you
like
talking
Chris from, doesn't he?
Endless Ranters.
Not from the Endless Ranters, from the. No, not
Who
Chris.
looks like Chris?
Do you
Chris
think so? Really?
Loxamana. He
Oh,
looks like Chris Loxamana.
Who
Doesn't
does?
Cal
he?
Penn?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I thought that
Don't-
was the name of a college.
Cal Penn is the guy is like
The
what's
guy
that?
that was
Who's
interviewing
Hal and
Biden.
Kumar? He's Kumar or Hal. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hal and Kumar go to White Castle.
Yeah. He
He's
looks
one of
like-
those two. Probably Kumar.
What was he saying again?
He's
Joe
the one
Biden.
that was interviewing Biden.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, I don't know who that guy. Oh, I
crazy-
think I know who you're talking about.
like the weird thing to me was like Joe Biden just like making things up out of thin air, and Cal Penn, who was a young man in his right mind, is just like, oh, okay. Tell me more.
When
tell
I
me-
was
tell me-
19,
Tell
I
me
was
more.
working in the
Lizel.
coal mine.
No, he said that he's told Cal Penn that when he was a senior in high school, he had an epiphany about gay marriage when he was
Oh,
a
yeah.
senior in high school in 1959, when his dad was dropping him off somewhere downtown.
I got it.
When they got out of yeah.
A portal opened in the sky,
Codified.
and Clay Aiken walked out.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Sorry, man. These fucking advertisements.
Oh yeah, it's a pharmaceutical for sure. I saw
Keep
one the
talking.
other
Sorry,
day.
this
One of
fucking
the
thing-
side effects was sudden death. Have you ever
Nobody
seen
was
that?
saying that back in
I swear to
1959.
God, that's what the side effect.
Beyond disappointed that there hasn't been a wedding yet, but Cardi B is going to marry us, apparently officiate our wedding, which would be nice. But my question for you, Mr. President, is you codified support for same-sex marriage and interracial marriages like ours. I'm curious what your evolution was like on marriage equality and what the federal government might be able to do to protect LGBTQ Americans, especially trans kids who are dealing with all these regressive state laws that are popping up right now.
I can remember exactly where my epiphany was.
Okay.
I hadn't thought much about it, to tell you the
Uh-huh.
truth. And I was a senior in high school. And my dad was dropping me off. I remember about to get out of the car, and I looked to my right.
Club.
Two well-dressed men in suits kissed each other. I mean, they gave each other a kiss. And
Yeah.
then one looked
Hey,
like he was
man.
headed to the DuPont building. One looked like he headed to the Hercules Corporation building. And I'll never forget, I turned and looked to my dad.
Right next to my
It's
school.
Joey, it's simple. They love each other. It's simple. No, I'm not joking. It's simple. They love
Oh, you're
each
not.
other. And
You're not joking. You're
Simple.
just making things up.
Yeah. And then I sucked
Fine.
it.
Everybody.
Where was he getting
lie.
dropped off at when he was a senior, like next to like the Hercules Corporation building? What is that? Is the
I like-
Hercules
I-
Corporation real?
One of those buildings wasn't even there in the year that he went to high school. It wasn't even built
Yeah.
yet.
My dad was dropped me off on the dinosaur next to the quarry at Flintstones. Yeah. And then he took off at his rocket ship to Spacely Sprogs.
The thing is, I like the story that he told. It's a good story. I that would be cool if somebody actually told. It's too bad it's completely made up.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's the part
It's
where I
made up.
lose respect.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I prefer real epiphanies and not totally made up epiphanies.
yeah, he had an epiphany when his fucking, when the winds changed.
When they were like, "Hey, old man, in your moment of clarity, like, you want to be president? Yes. Just do what you're told."
I've always said, I wish that somebody loved me the way Biden pretends to love trannies.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine that sort of love.
I wish someone would love me as much as Dr. Joe Biden pretends to love Joe Biden,
Or what's that one guy he's literally dying on the campaign stage, Fetterman or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
His
His
wife.
wife left the country the second he went to the hospital.
You ever like,
Wow.
you see those like videos. They're a
Yeah, she
little
went to
unfair.
Cozumel. No, I don't know where she went, but
You see those videos, they're a little unfair of Joe Biden tripping down stairs, right? And you see him all the time, like every other day. It's a little unfair because he's 80 and people that are 80 fall down. But you notice how his wife is never around.
to catch
She's sick
him.
of his shit. That's why.
No one is ever around to catch him. Like, dude's going down like a steep flight of like 30 stairs from a goddamn 747. There's
Yeah.
no one
Crazy.
around.
It's got to be a difficult life. He's got Kamala wanting to push him downstairs and Joe
Yeah.
Biden not willing to catch him if he falls.
Maybe it's like, is there an invisible net or something? You know,
No,
are the
here's the
aliens?
thing. We
Are
got
the
it all wrong,
aliens that are in
guys.
the aliens in his brain protecting him from gravity or something? I don't know.
It's a stunt double, man. We've been duped all along.
Probably.
Some people say that. They say
Yeah.
that his ears are different in different cuts, like that his mouth is different, that there's an actor that plays him sometimes.
Or
Hey, the
he's just
conspiracy
aging
theorists have some
rapidly.
thought.
Okay, well, here's my thought. All right, now this is going deep conspiracy.
Oh shit!
I
Here we
love
go.
it.
Well, we've
Yeah,
been waiting
I'm
for
in.
it.
It's
Like,
actually
Quanah-
not.
do it.
It's actually not
Quana's
even
like,
that
we're
deep.
just in the kiddie pool right now.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not even that deep. Okay. The what do you call it? The face swap technology that we have access to.
Totally.
You can go
100%.
fucking download it off the internet. A lot of them, some of them are even web based, like some of the better ones.
He was in a
'cause you know-
goddamn studio for the first 2
Yeah,
years of
exactly.
his presidency.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
his campaign
so,
too. From
So
his basement.
imagine if what we have is as good as it is, and we see all these videos with the Arnold Schwarzenegger face swaps with like, I saw one where
Tom
they.
Cruise, the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be like I'm telling you, man.
So
before-
imagine what makes more sense. This jerk off that has made so many mistakes speaking, letting him go out and fuck everything up. He's already fucking
Yeah.
things up behind the scenes. We
I
know
think they're
that.
all
But are we
compromised.
going to trust having what makes more sense to let him go out to the podium, or to make a video of somebody that can do an impersonation of him and just you let the face swap software render for however
I'd rather
long,
have
and
Kyle
so
Dunnigan at this
they have
point.
render farms and stuff like that, like in 3D, whenever you got to render something like Shrek, like 3D like that, that's not just one computer. They got
Yeah.
what they call render farms. And so they have access to all that sort of technology. They could render a video of him giving a speech in, who knows how long. They
Yeah,
already have
I
all
agree,
the reference
100%.
video that you need. Whenever you do one of those face swap video, the more references that you provide for them, the more digital, like facial recognition, like different
at a
angles
point-
and all that.
I'm
and
at a
they
point
have
where
all
I
that.
believe
And so
you.
what makes more sense? Letting him go out on stage and fuck up, or face swapping him with somebody that can actually speak and complete a sentence? He's been doing better lately, and that's what makes me suspicious. Anyway, that's not all that deep of a conspiracy. But
I think
face swap
that
Didn't we not
technology.
know?
I think what makes more sense is that, and it goes along with what you're saying, because I buy it, is like, but I'm getting into the why. The why is like, why are they all doing this? It's like they're all compromised, man. Like it's like if you're playing a game, if you're playing like a murder mystery game, right? And 12 of your friends showed up and you're playing this game, and then at the very end, someone jumps out and it's like, haha, you all did it. Cause like all 12 people were playing the part of someone that was guilty and compromised. It's like, yeah, joke's on you. Like they're all compromised. They're all like acting in very bad faith. They're all like, they got us on the brink. Like I said, like, why are they doing this? Why?
We
Why
literally
is
just had
deep-
one of
Why?
our airplanes or whatever shot down.
Well,
by a
yeah, I mean,
Russian.
why? Like, what's the
they
why?
were like
What's the
doing
why?
like, oh well, no big
You
You
deal.
think it's just
nothing
because
to
they
see
want a
here,
mansion
folks.
or something? Like, what's the why? Because they have enough
It's all,
mansions.
it's all
Like,
greed based. It's all,
but
they're
when
all
you have enough,
sanctimonious assholes.
but right, they have the praise. They're already on their sanctimony.
It's
store
never
or
enough.
whatever.
Is that what you're about to ask?
It's,
Like what's
it
left?
kind of leads down to my theory though of the devil and having sex with kids. Like it's
Wait, hold on.
they gotta cover up their stuff.
That was a, I'm with you.
I know.
That's just a, that's,
It's
I'm
quite
not
the leap.
saying that-
Maybe
Yeah, it's a
maybe
bit-
my
it's a
maybe a
leap.
better question is like, how did they
It's
get
really
away
not.
with it?
It's
Maybe
really not.
maybe a better question. Maybe a better question I should ask is like, how are they getting away with it? And that's like, they're all compromised. Like none of them will tell on each other because they're all like, we're in it too. And if I tell on this, like again, like I can't tell on this guy because then he'll just tell on me.
Yeah, well, that's
These
why
are the
they
people
call it
running
the,
our stuff right now.
the what not Machiavelli. What is it called? I can't.
It is
think of
Illuminati.
Machiavellian.
Illuminati.
Illuminati. That's what I was trying to think. Yeah, I see what.
Yeah,
you
the
did. That's an
Illuminati
album.
read them.
Machiavelli's album, but
No, Machiavelli is what the Illuminati read.
Well, yeah. But it is like I've never been an Illuminati guy more than
this last year
Yeah,
when
just
they've been like,
recently.
here we are, motherfucker, with their
The alien thing really stresses me out. I don't know if I've told you all of this.
I kind of have been. So I mean, just
too much X-Files. You'll be
that's
fine.
my
No one's
that's
putting
my
anything in
bias.
your butt.
I was watching X-Files a long
the
time
butt
ago.
is the least of my worries. I don't know why people are so worried about the anal probe. I'm worried about our life, our world ending as we know it.
They might be here to
But
save
fuck
us.
me all you
Maybe
want.
they're here to save us.
I think they're gonna do that regardless, and then be like, "All right, now we'll listen to the shit." But
They live in the ocean. It's the only thing that makes
Yeah.
sense. But anyway,
Well, if you're worried, what are you doing to prepare?
no, I wouldn't be
What-
surprised if they're running shit. They already got badass technology. Like they probably come up every once in a while.
Who?
The aliens from the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Come on, what are you talking about? Who? They come up, have a couple meetings with fucking, the
I don't know if
Illuminati.
my son was messing with me, but one of his friends is a pilot, which is crazy because he's 25, right? That he's like, he decided he's going to be a pilot. So he's a pilot. He's like, Mom, you should hang out with this kid, whatever his name is. He's like, he's just like you. He's all conspiracy theory and thinks that the earth is flat. I'm like, hold up. He's a pilot? Like he's a pilot, flies people around. He's a pilot and thinks the earth is flat. He said, yes. I was like, really?
He's an RC
Interesting.
pilot.
No. He's an actual pilot. He's literally a pilot, which I know
Yeah.
that sounds weird, but kid's
No.
got goals, I guess. But that was his
And he
take on
actually
it,
thinks
so.
the earth is flat.
He actually thinks the earth is flat. But I don't know if I guess he's just a conspiracy theorist like I am, and that is floated around a lot. And like they have thoughts, like their thoughts, some of their thoughts are like, well, interesting. They're just interesting. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well,
Some of
I
the
don't buy
stuff
into
that
the
they
flat
think,
earth thing.
yeah,
The,
totally.
you know how always Ace always says that there's no better time to be a racist because like
Yeah.
everybody gets being accused of racism. I
Totally.
think that there's no better time to be a conspiracy theorist because and I don't even know if y'all consider me one. I don't think that I am one. I'm trying to live my life. I'm trying to record my goddamn next record.
I think it's too
I'm
late
not
to
worried
be
about
one.
the conspiracy, but when people start acting like it's not true, I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Like, do you not see what's happening? There's literally confirmed by the Pentagon fucking footage of UFOs. We don't know what it is. Biden is fucking us in the ass in front of us. He's selling it to us. He's making a porno of him fucking us. And then
Aren't the
sending
aliens
us
kind of like
and then
the
and
Lance
then and
Moss
then
theory,
and then
though,
sending us a
Jaden? Like, we've
Dropbox of the
always
fucking
known that
video.
they're there, right?
Okay,
Haven't you
yes.
always known? It's
Yes,
it's like
no.
Lance Bass, so it should just be a relief to you. You should be like, oh,
Listen
God,
to
I wasn't
yourself.
crazy.
Listen to yourselves. You're so worried about all the. You're like in the span of a minute, you're talking about 10 different conspiracy theories that don't mean anything.
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
talking about all of them that mean everything. So you missed the point.
No,
What I'm saying is
no, I didn't.
just the alien. Like what I'm saying is I already suspected that they were out there. Like I was saying, when it's confirmed, that's when it gets interesting. And there's actual like military, more than one, frequency of or one type of footage. They have like infrared footage, and the thing is fucking cooler than everything else. There's no propulsion like that. And everybody
Yeah, we
just
talked
walks
about
around,
this like a
everybody just
month
walks
ago.
around like nothing's happening.
They have the ability. What is it? Blue beam.
Project
Yeah,
Blue
Project
Beam.
Blue Beam. They have the ability to shoot
Project Blue Book?
lasers. Blue beam.
Oh, Blue Beam, yeah.
You're talking about Kelly Blue Book. That's a whole nother goddamn conspiracy.
Totally.
That's a whole nother attack
Rocket-
on our freedom.
Rocket.
Oh yeah, it's your car's
No.
always way less than it is.
Project Blue Beam is the government has. I mean, there's just levels of technology we don't know about. There's the government is has the technology to shoot lasers. Maybe from one place, maybe from two different places that have the ability to change matter in a particular space, and that change in matter will show up on radar, will show up to the naked eye, will show up on every diagnostic or detection tool that regular humans have, like radio waves, like video VHS tape, like infrared, all that. They have this ability. So,
This is
but
true.
like as I say, like it could be that, and it could also be aliens too. Or it
Yeah,
could be that we got Project Blue Beam from aliens that wrecked, and now they've come back to get their their stuff. They're like, hey man, we left some stuff here.
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily like I do believe in the aliens thing, but it's not necessarily them. I mean, if they're from this planet from like a different time, you know, because the planet has been flooded before, it's been frozen, it's been boiling. You know what I mean?
That's what
Like
they're
there's
saying.
all
How
these
do we
things
have
that
all these dinosaur bones if it was boiling? That's the question that the conspiracy theorists are asking now. Like, why
Wait,
do we have
what?
all these bones if there was like the planet was basically blown up by asteroids? Like, why are there all these dinosaur bones?
Well,
Like,
everything
is that a
wasn't
lie too?
vaporized. They died of are you denying dinosaurs? What was that?
No, I think the debate is
telling
in
you
how,
how
Aliens, and
crazy
she's like
people are.
dinosaurs. Not
the
even
real debate. The real debate is in like what they look like. First off, because they weren't like, I don't know if they were all colorful and had flat feathers and shit. But the
How
real
do they
debate is
know?
how
They
did they
did.
die?
They
No,
died from a
really,
meteor
really,
in
really,
the
really.
Yucatan Peninsula. We know this. Or the
We
Yukon.
thought everything you thought you knew, like you were taught in grade school, like it's time to like start questioning that, because then now, like, you know, you watch that what's that WF, like Y something, whatever that
Y
video
files.
is,
What would Jesus do?
the Y files, whatever.
files,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, there's just like we were all taught like a really dumbed down version of history, like whether it comes to like racial history, our country's history, geological history, like, yeah.
And
Well,
they
we do.
really
We
hamper that down on kids. Like, you have to learn this. Like, I remember going through it with
I
my
think it's
kids
a
in school, and
I
it
think
was
it's
like
a
a
good
lot.
I think it's a good starting point so that the kids, because at that age you're just trying to teach the kids the concept of planets, biology, like plant life, maybe a little evolution, maybe a little like used to be cavemen, there were cave drawings. Like, you got to tell kids about
Right.
that. But then like all the advanced theories about like, well, the cave drawings, what they tell us is that they had these calendars and they were like building pyramids, and it's like, no, the cave drawings are just show them like throwing a spear at a cow.
Well, now
cave, cave
Mandy was
drawings are
talking about the
wildly different
Egyptian
from
people that
building
are like,
pyramids.
And then it's up to parents to continue. It's up to parents to like fine tune the dumb stuff that they learn in grade school, like to like
yeah,
buy their kids a
Well,
set of
that's not gonna happen.
encyclopedias and make them read it. Or in my case, I make my kid watch documentaries and like,
You
Yeah.
make him?
Mhm.
Okay.
Or it's like
Clockwork Orange.
there's an earning, yeah, yeah, like real project. What is that? MK Ultra stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, like
yeah. I'm
These
glad
are
you
real
know
things that
that.
happen,
Okay,
though.
yeah,
These
see,
are
that-
real
that-
things
yeah.
that have happened.
That's what I was saying though. There's been no better
To
time
ski
to
a
be a
pyramid
fucking there's been
experiment.
no better time to be a conspiracy
okay,
theorist.
let me ask you this:
Because
what
all
put
of
you
that
over
shit
the
is
tipping point?
slowly coming true.
What put you
What?
what put you over the tipping point from like, man, all this
9/11.
stuff, and then like now you're just like, call me what you will. I'm down. What was the I guess the conspiracy theory or event, pandemic,
That broke the camel's back.
scamdemic,
I don't
as the
I don't
hotels
know.
call it.
COVID was a huge one for me.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Like
I
I
mean,
was
maybe it's not-
always
yeah.
I was always sort of like I'm still living my life. Like I'm really not that worried about other things. Like I have my own theories on the earth and our universe's creation. You know, I don't think we know. I'm not trying to call it anything. I'm just trying to live my fucking life. Trying
Yeah.
to finish my goddamn next record and record TTR, baby.
I think most people are like in a point where it's like, if the World War III is going to come, just like make it be quick and vaporize me, because I got
Vaporize.
Oh yeah,
I don't-
I want to be as
Over.
close as possible to the fucking thing.
I'll be underground.
Yeah.
I'll be underground.
I was gonna ask you earlier how, like, if you think about like what you, because you were talking about ammo, how much ammo do y'all actually have? Like, I only got I was thinking about it. I got kind of stressed out for a second because I'm high. I only have like 2,500 rounds. That's not that many.
I have way less than that.
I'm fucked. I don't have a
Just
gun.
when it goes down, just give me everything you have and save yourself the trouble.
I live in a neighborhood though that's like surround. We have tons of cops out here, and my neighbor across the street has. I mean, he has stuff that could shoot from his house to the neighbor behind me's house.
Cool,
Like, he's
yeah, because the cops are
some
the good
cannons and
guys.
stuff.
So he owns a rifle.
Well, he's a firefighter. I just feel like we live in a gated community, and we might be just a little bit fair, just a little bit better than everybody else. Like if their things were to come down, it's just very.
You think a gate is stopping me with an assault rifle?
I think that there's plenty of people that
like the
have them
fact-
inside the gate.
I like the fact
I'm gonna
that
rob the
you-
people
Went to
around
the-
me first, and then I'm coming to. You know,
I like the
then coming
fact
for
that
the gate.
you're like, you think you're like in this enclosed gated cage with a
Yeah,
bunch of public servants
she's
and
like-
cops, and you feel safe.
She literally just goes, she goes, well, I'm in a gated community. I don't know about you.
No, she's like, there's a bunch of cops. There's a bunch of cops around me.
There's a bunch of
I
cops
do.
around me. Yeah, they got
want
ammo.
them first.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people when people are like,
I'm
They'll be the
prepared.
first
I'm
one-
ready.
they'll be the-
I've made my
they're
peace.
like,
I've
"Oh,
been ready.
yeah,
Turn the
what you
gas
need is
on whenever
don't
you're
you
ready.
like
I'm fine with
the
it.
gold people. They'll be like, oh, what you need if shit really goes down? You know what you need? You need fucking gold. You need your currency to represent it. It was
It's like,
no,
no,
what
no.
you're
Willem
gonna want-
Devane, William
Yeah.
Devane, that guy, you know, like the ex, like he's selling. He's like, put all your money in gas stoves.
I have one of those. I have a
They're
gas
about
stove.
to
We can turn the
ban-
gas on.
They are literally about to ban gas stoves in the United States of America.
How
Like
can
you
you
cannot
even-
buy a gas stove made by Frigidaire or fucking.
That's ridiculous. No
Electric-
restaurant in the
electric
world is going to
stoves.
cook on an electric stove. That's just not ever going to happen. A
I don't
restaurant
care-
in this country will never cook on an electric stove.
I don't
It's
care
not
if
gonna
it's
happen.
better. I don't care
have
if
an
it's
electric
good.
stove, but
I don't care
it's-
which one is better. All I care about is the freedom to choose. I don't care which one is better. If
Word.
you prefer
You're-
electric, if you prefer
Good for you. Yeah.
I don't care. I just, the fact that I can go to a Lowe's and they're just like, all these stoves are electric because the government said we can't sell you a gas stove.
That's the way it is for Californians. They can't smoke menthol cigarettes. They quit
And they-
selling menthol cigarettes in California. If you
And here's
smoke
what they
menthol-
did. Here's what they did.
Crazy.
They leaked a story that a government agency was going to ban gas stoves, right? They leaked it. And then the right freaked out. And the left was like, oh, you silly conspiracy theorists. No one's trying to ban gas stoves. And then the right is like, okay, I guess we should just go back about our business. And then the Department of Energy puts a ban on 96% of gas stoves. Like,
Yeah, we don't
unless you
wanna
can,
take-
unless
don't
you have
wanna take your gas stove,
$8,000.
common sense gas stove.
Yeah. Unless you can take out a small loan on your house to buy a gas stove or a restaurant or like a business loan, you will not own a gas stove. They did this with
Yeah.
light bulbs. Remember, you could buy like a goddamn regular incandescent light bulb. And I'm not saying that that's better than a fluorescent or an LED bulb because I'm down with LED bulbs, but
Yeah.
I should be able to choose.
You down
They
with the
might be
LED?
admitting something. They might be admitting something because I can hear my LEDs. Like I can hear like the noise that they make.
The
Like
high
maybe
pitch frequency.
there's something
or high-
happening with the LED that I can hear because we have some. I can hear them. So
There's,
I mean, they must
there's
be putting off
electricity going.
something.
There's nothing that says that electricity going through things can't make noise. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Well, fluorescent lights.
But
said they're
you-
fluorescent or LED.
you should have the choice to buy an old fashioned incandescent light bulb that only lasts like 6 years, you know, or could just like break, like really fragile.
Right.
You should have that choice.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
right.
I'm actually sensitive to the color temperature of the light. So my
Mhm.
my house is always lined with either daytime, like 6,000 K bulbs or whatever it is, or LED if you can. LED is
Mhm.
preferred. It lets off less heat, I think.
I feel
I
that.
don't know why I'm talking about light bulbs. Oh yeah, you mentioned it.
I just got some grow light bulbs for my plants and they are loving it. They're like shooting to the sky. It's wild.
Did I ever tell y'all about the time I grew a weed plant that was literally like 10 feet high? It was like Little Shop
No.
of Horrors and I had to kill it.
Poor thing.
Maybe I shouldn't say that on the air.
Yeah.
You know
You
what? Fuck,
can't.
this was like 10 years
Statute
ago.
of limitation.
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. I grew a fucking weed plant. I transplanted it from a friend of mine. This is when I moved to Austin. I'm not gonna give years. It was over 10 years ago. I'll tell you that, when I moved to Austin. And I transplanted a weed plant from a friend of mine and I put it in. I had a high pressure sodium light, which is really good for plants or whatever. And I had a bubble ponic system. You know what that is, Manny?
The which system?
Bubble ponic.
No, I can't say that. No, I haven't.
Bubble ponic is you take the seed or the roots or whatever, and you have it in this like sifter basket, and you have rock wool in it. You know what rock
Okay.
wool is? It's like little cubes of wool. And
Mhm.
then you have it in, what I had it in was I had it inside of a water cooler that was filled right up to the about, I guess it was about halfway up the rock wool. So it saturates the rock wool, and that is what, you know, gives the roots moisture. And then you get
Mhm.
an air pump and you put it underneath, you put it at the bottom of the, I'm sorry, this is boring. This is a longer explanation than I felt like I was going to initially like give, but it's kind of interesting. You put the air pump in the bottom of the in the bottom of the water cooler, and it pumps oxygen to the roots. And so the fucking shit grows faster than you think it was going to do. It was the first time I'd ever
Yeah.
grown anything. It was a bubble
We've been
ponic
growing
system.
things. We grew things in the ground, but like everything's inverted now.
Yeah,
You grow things
that's just
upside
gay.
down. You grow things upside down, like you grow things inside out. You pull, like you have a filter on the bottom that pulls air from the atmosphere into the ground. That's
Yeah.
it's-
You seen those
that's pretty
vegetable
interesting.
towers that you just like plug in and they have like a water system at the bottom and like huge tower and they have these little pods that you put in and it grows vegetables out of it. Like,
Yeah, well, that was my original point. Is it's interesting to grow things, but yeah, I grew a
Yeah.
weed plant that ended up like outgrowing my closet. It just got so big, I just had to like
My
chop it down
closet.
like a fucking tree. You know,
My
it literally.
closet.
No, it was literally in my closet. I had a fucking light and a bubble ponic system, and this thing grew like bigger than. What just happened here?
Continue.
What was the fifth nine? Well, you can't just pop things up.
That was out
Well,
of
they're
nowhere.
saying there was another tower that blew up that no one talks about, the seventh tower or whatever they call it, Tower 7.
Well, it says fifth. Where it was? Oh, I can't read this. Was this the fifth 9/11 plant? I guess I'm gonna read it because you put it on the screen. Anyway, yeah, I grew a plant that was like 10 feet high, and I had to kill it. I had to choke it out like a fucking.
You wrestled it.
Yeah, I had to get it in a standing guillotine. So this headline says, "Was this the fifth 9/11 plane? Crew of United 23 reveal their 767 scheduled to take off on fateful day was raided by FBI after they found box cutters. This is the worst run-on sentence ever.
No, continue though.
After they found box cutters they feared would it was raided by the FBI after they found box cutters they feared would be used in
There was a
hijack
fifth plane.
and identified
All right, all
four
right,
suspicious
calm down.
passengers, but kept it quiet."
There was a fifth
Scroll
plane
down.
on,
Let's read the story.
No, there's a fifth plane on 9/11 that supposedly was raided before it all went down, where the FBI found a bunch of box cutters and they were like, oh, these box cutters could be used to hijack an airplane. But
Or
they were
open
like-
boxes
but
we
like-
don't want you to
but they were
open.
like, we should keep this to ourselves. Like we should,
All
Is
this
confir-
time.
is this
let's keep it
confirmed?
to
Like,
ourselves.
where is this from? Is this the fucking?
Oh, this is just to like add a little, gasoline to the conspiracy theorist fire.
Okay,
The
well,
conspiracy
see,
theorist fire
this is
is
the
that
yeah, I
a
know this is
plane
unhealthy.
literally destructed an entire building. Like the building collapsed. The steel
Mhm.
rods of a building collapsed from the jet fuel. It's just,
Mhm.
They didn't melt,
yeah.
but they warp.
Mhm.
It doesn't. It
I
doesn't
mean,
melt. It doesn't melt still, but it
stuff that
warps.
I've the things that I've seen about 9/11 are very compelling. That's all I will say is that it's like when they
ever
break
seen
it
a house of
down.
cards?
It is, but the jet fuel thing, that's
real, yeah.
Well, what
yeah,
about
it
what
doesn't
about
melt
the fact
steel.
that the Pentagon, that there's no footage of a plane actually hitting the Pentagon?
Okay, that one
That
I'm with you.
there's no
Yeah.
cameras around the Pentagon.
Yeah,
And
there's
that
a
we
half
just
a frame
happened
of
to
something
lose like
silver.
$17 billion the day before the fucking very office
This was
that was
2001.
controlling that money was gone.
This
Yeah,
was
Rumsfeld was on.
This was
CNN.
2001.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
This
well,
was 2001 before
the
everyone had a
thing
smartphone.
It's been
All right.
debunked.
Exactly.
But
No,
the
it's
Pentagon thing, yes, I'm with you right there.
It was a nuclear attack done by our country, is my
Okay,
thoughts
well, I'm
on
not
that,
going
but-
that far with you. Don't try to Don't try to pull me down with you, conspiracy theorist. Yeah, scroll
It's
down.
okay.
Let's see what
Everybody
we got here.
already knows I'm crazy.
Oh, that's pretty.
No, it's no. There's
with
been no
with the
better
Daily
time to be a
Mail
conspiracy
article.
theorist.
Yeah, United Flight 23 was on the tarmac at JFK at 9 a.m. on 9/11/2001. 2001 was also a time. Remember, there was no iPhone. There was no like
No.
video on demand everywhere in your
We
pocket.
just listened to everything that they told us. Like all of the things were coming out.
What else could we do at that time?
Nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
waiting in line to take off to LA when all planes were ordered back to the gate. A second plane crashed into the World Trade Center at 9:03 a.m. and all takeoffs were halted. So this sounds like maybe something that wasn't information that could be prevented, but was information
You know
that
what was suppressed was the
just
third
got
tower that
put in
went
a
down that no one
shoebox.
talks about.
Yeah, Tower
Right?
but it's
7.
like 7, yeah.
Yeah.
What it so it's well.
But
Wait,
you have to
where is
understand, like-
JFK again? Where's JFK Airport?
New York City.
That's
Yeah.
why would they go from New York City and crash the one to LA if they were, why wouldn't that be the one that hit the towers?
I think
They
they're
were already there.
saying that there was another plane where they had the same plans and no wonder what the target was for that.
No, that's so that we can get raided at the goddamn airport all the time. This is just another story that they put forth so that they can take away our freedoms at the airport so that we can't travel.
Take your
Like
shoes
how many
off.
people
Yeah.
how many people have they found with box cutters since that fucking day? Not one person. So don't get me started.
I'm not sure if that's the main reason, but it definitely does.
Our civil
He-
liberties were taken away from us after that day.
Yeah.
And that's where it started.
It does extend it. This kind of stuff extends the Patriot Act and all that kind of stuff, the surveillance state we
Exactly.
live in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
all of
What,
it.
you're leaving out the last line where it says TMZ investigates 9/11. Fifth plane airs Monday. At
I don't know
9
if you,
on
you know, in
Fox.
this,
That's
the
what
new-
it says.
It
It's
really
like, oh,
did.
they're trying to sell a show out here. Okay, I see
They're
what's happening.
trying to make it seem not.
Well, it's
legit,
fine.
too.
The idea is
just think about what you're
TMZ
saying.
breaks a
Like
lot of stories, Jaden.
after the last 20 years of them
They
trying
do,
to sell
actually.
shows to us, you're like, they're trying to sell a show. Like, yes, they've been
Yeah.
selling shows to us for decades.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah,
this
what
day
I'm
and
saying
age,
is
in
you should have
2023, who do you trust more, TMZ or CNN?
hubba. Who do you trust? Me? I'm giving away free money. And where is the Batman? He's at home washing his tights.
No idea, but yeah, who do you trust more,
It's from-
TMZ or
That's
Don
the-
Lemon?
It's from the first Batman. Where were you? Anyway,
I'm not trusting
yeah,
Don
you
Lemon.
should have. You
Sorry.
should have. Do what?
I'm not trusting Don Lemon.
I don't trust Don. Who said anything about Don Lemon?
I
He
trust.
just-
What's the
Chris
guy
over
that
here.
runs TMZ? Harvey something.
Yeah.
You trust Don Lemon? You trusted Don Lemon at some point?
Harvey Levin.
No,
There you go, Harvey Levin.
Oh, Harvey. That's the TMZ.
no,
guy?
Harvey. What? No, not Harvey.
Oh, don't trust Harvey.
Harvey
Weinstein.
Levin is the TMZ
Harvey-
guy.
Okay, yeah, I trust him.
Harvey Weinstein.
Not a lot, but I trust him more than Don Lemon or Anderson Cooper or anybody
Yeah.
working at
Million
CNN.
percent.
Is it just me or
$1,000,000%.
Harvey Weinstein sounded like a better hang than Harvey Levin? Maybe it's just because I'm a guy and
Wow.
I know I'm not getting finger popped. But
Do you?
well, hey, the night's still young. I don't even know that I'm not tonight. But Harvey Weinstein was definitely a better hang than Harvey Levin. That much I can
Yeah,
guarantee.
probably because he's like a fitness.
Shonda
guy,
has
You
so
spoken.
gotta ask
stuff like
Jennifer
this.
Lawrence.
Oh yeah, that bitch. I forgot about her. Where's she been?
She
was in a
liked
real-
hanging out with Harvey Weinstein more than Harvey Levin, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they'll both. I mean,
And Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh
Paltrow.
my gosh, she's in the news because she was sharing what she eats for lunch, and she basically said she has bone broth every day. And everybody's mad about it. Like they didn't realize that would be what Gwyneth Paltrow would eat every day for lunch.
You know who else had bone broth every day for lunch? Cavemen, like a million years ago. Like, oh, like Gwyneth, she invented this. Like, did she?
She's a
I
cave
told
Yenta.
people in the happy hour that I had Chick-fil-A for lunch, and they were
There
like,
were- there were
"What? I thought
humans
you're
that were like-
healthy."
There were humans that like a chromosome away from apes that were like bone broth, good.
Yeah.
I used to always get Gwyneth Paltrow and Anne Heche mixed up, but I don't anymore.
Yeah.
Not gonna have a problem with that. Yeah.
There's a
I
fiery
wasn't even
difference.
trying to. I wasn't even making a joke. I just saying like now it's cleared up, and I don't have that
There's
problem.
there's a very
Problem
fiery difference between those two.
Oh my God, what about when she shot up, when she was on the gurney dead and then she shot up? Not dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say she was dead. That rules out the.
Which-
You mean when she was in shock and she?
They
Had
said she was dead
adrenaline-
and they had her covered. They had her body covered, like you would wheel somebody out covered. And she literally shot up from
Oh,
the
no
gurney.
shit. I didn't hear about
The
that.
she's like
helicopter
Fra-
caught the footage of
Frankenstein?
her being wheeled out from the house that she crashed into, completely covered. And they said it was just like a nerve reaction or something.
She was Franken-Yenta.
The lady was driving 110 miles an hour through a freaking
Yeah,
neighborhood.
have you seen the footage?
Yeah, that
screams
footage
past.
is wild. That
Yeah.
footage is wild.
Yeah,
everyone-
she's like Dale Earnhardt Jr. just
Yeah, and
through a
all
neighborhood.
these evil Hollywood people are like, we need to poke some candles through paper plates for her tonight.
Though, did they?
They sure
They just said
did.
she was crazy. Oh, they did.
Yeah, that bitch was toxic. You know she knew how to fuck though. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, rest in peace.
I think she was married to Ellen DeGeneres for a while.
She was definitely married to Ellen DeGeneres for a while. So maybe she knew too much. That's what I heard
Does-
them
does
say.
Ellen- is Ellen still around?
Oh, we're like
a
a minute away from Hillary did it.
Fucking Obama.
Is Ellen still
Thanks.
around? I used to like.
She's
here's
alive, yeah.
here's a confession. You know, a little known secret. When the Ellen show first came out, I thought it was funny. I'm sorry, I was a young, impressionable mind.
Is that yeah? Oh man, I remember
Ninth
oh,
grade. What was that? 98, 99, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I remember
It's funny as fuck. Like,
my conservative family watched Ellen because she was just a funny gal, right? Like non-threatening.
Talk shows were all we
She wa-
had, right?
She was on network television, and then like she came out and it was like,
ratings plummeted.
we don't talk about Ellen. And I'd
She's
be
like,
like,
I'm making my own show where I dance
I'd
to
be
the
I'd be at
stage.
I'd be at
She made the
Thanksgiving.
comeback after the come out.
I would be at
By the way-
Thanksgiving dinner, like, hey, y'all still watching Ellen? What do you think of that latest Ellen? And they're just like, ah.
It's like, anyway, on Small Wonder.
I
That was actually way before that. I don't know what it would have been. Anyway, on Drew Carey.
love
No,
that
you said
show.
my
I love that. I'm not.
conservative family.
I've seen every episode of Small Wonder. Love it.
Well, there was only 9 episodes. It
I
didn't
know,
have-
but I said what I said.
That was a weird flex. I've
Seen them
seen
all.
every episode
No,
of Small
no,
Wonder.
no, no.
I'm like, okay.
I put my beer down.
Hey.
How many?
You said when you started off that
episodes
sentence, Chris goes, my conservative family. I forget I forget what the rest of the sentence was, but wouldn't that be a great fucking sitcom? My conservative family.
That was every sitcom back then. Like,
Yeah.
just a guy.
because it
on
was like, you have a robot? Because they were like so afraid of like, they were trying to convince the neighbors that this was their daughter. You know what I mean? They're like, they didn't want to let it loose, let the information out there. They had a robot.
yeah. My conservative.
Which is how it
family-
happens, by the way. Like one of these days, you're gonna notice that your neighbor's dog is acting like a robot and has a gun turret on its back. You know, and you're just like, I wonder what that's all about. How many episodes of The Small Wonder?
What's up with that?
You're looking up Small Wonder right now.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
I brought it up.
4 seasons.
4 seasons.
Four.
Wow.
4 seasons.
Okay, listen. Whatever you beat off to is none of my business.
That's right. That's what I'm
Doesn't matter.
saying. Don't pry.
That was a really good show, though, to me at the time.
1985 to 1989.
Oh wow!
You
Maybe
probably
I
watched.
watched
You probably watched. That's
I
even
had
worse.
to, it
Like,
had to have been reruns. I don't
listen
even-
here, I watched it because I had to, and there was no other choice. You watched it. You chose to watch it.
You think I chose to watch that in the early 90s?
No,
You fucking piece of shit. What the fuck are you talking about?
no.
Don't ever accuse me of anything like that. I will come to fucking Little Elm and I will hunt you down like Quana in a gated community.
I'll be in my bunker. I'll be in my bunker. Like, what's that noise?
It's just me thumping off the concrete wall.
Yeah, there are 4 episodes. I don't know. I'm having a
4
hard time reading.
episodes.
4.
Wait, oh, yes.
I don't know what's worse, is Jaden watching it as a kid or Chris watching it as a semi-adult. All 4.
No,
are
I'm saying I
seasons.
watched it as a kid.
No. Did you just say 4 episodes?
No, there were number of seasons.
Okay.
4. Number of episodes 96.
Oh god damn.
Yeah, that was
What the
back.
fuck?
That was back when like a season of television was 24.
That's like
More than
24
20. It
episodes.
was 20 something episodes.
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna
24
do the math,
episodes.
but you beat me to it. Not gonna lie. X-Files was 22 episodes, and
Yeah.
they were 45
That was
minutes.
back in that day too. That was like 90 or like
No,
late 80s, early
no, it's
90s.
93. Is
When
the
did
first
X Files
episode-
start? Don't make me Google
93. I just told you. No. I.
when.
You're saying Small Wonder started in
Was
85?
the-
No, don't
I
ever
said
Google X Files
85.
when I'm on the line.
85. I'm seeing it right here.
Christopher, put down that
Sep-
mouse.
September.
Put down that keyboard.
I'm re-
1993.
I have the keyboard down. I'm using my finger to read now. September 7,
1993.
Not the finger.
1985.
Oh, you're
It
looking at
helps me
Small Wonder.
focus. It helps me focus.
You're wearing glasses
September-
and you can't even read it.
Oh,
Why-
Monkey's uncle's
That's none of your
joining us, you
business.
guys.
It's none of your business what I'm wearing.
Oh, no, shout out
September
to Monkey's
7,
uncle. Been going off in the
September
chat.
7, 1985 through May 20,
Sorry, Monk.
1989.
Did we ever figure out who that is? It's Dick, isn't it?
It's
Dickie.
Dick. It's
It
Dick.
is. It is Dick.
It's Dick. Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Dick, I love you.
I do too. Even though, oh my god, I
Get that drop.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Okay.
I loved that you had the meeting with Joe Gary and you called him out for trying to.
I think it was his son.
It's just one of the few people that have wanted to meet you in the streets to fight, though. I mean, I think that says a lot about you.
No, I
James.
think doesn't he have a son or something that is?
Yeah, named
Yeah,
Joe
his son.
Gary.
He's like, fuck you. I heard you talking shit about whatever, and he's like, why don't you drive up to Michigan and talk that shit? I was like, okay, let me drop everything that I'm doing here, and I like it when guys say it like that. Who knows if he was joking, but yeah, wrong
My
Joe
commitment
Gary.
to talk shit is not that much. Yeah, that was
Wrong-
sad though.
Monkey's uncle
Well,
is
no, I
definitely
still
that.
talk shit after that. I was like, fuck you, I'm on my way.
He's definitely
I'm
that.
just gonna give up there.
He's
like,
definitely that commie.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
Monkey.
yeah, I like them both. Joe Gary's are fucking great in my book. So is Dick.
Yeah,
Who would ever thought
I
that Dick
love-
would be that cool?
I love him.
I thought the
He's so
guy was a
great.
douche.
No, he's the best. And I
He is
have
the best.
I want to say that I've always been on his side, because when he opened up that secondary Endless Ranters Facebook group and all the people were in there, I was just a fan back then, and that stuff was so funny to me. I laughed and laughed and laughed. It was
Did ya?
clever.
Did you
I
laugh
did.
and laugh at our expense, Juana?
You were so upset.
We were on the come up, and we got these people hating.
Did you laugh? Was it funny when Dick was ridiculing
I'm
us?
still a member of Dick's Endless Ranters group. I didn't leave. I'm still a member.
So am I, but that's besides the point.
Oh, it's still around.
I remember when
that's
we
the
then
best
we
part of this.
then I
I want to
remember
join it.
I remember when we created our own group after that, and then Dick was like begging to be in it, and he was like texting Jaden like, "Hey, what's up? Like, you made this new group and you're not letting me in," and Jaden was like,
I feel like Dick
and I
is
was
about to infiltrate all fronts.
I was telling Jaden like, "No, just let him sweat it out."
I was on
that-
Dick's side.
After a while, yeah,
I was rooting for Dick.
How could you
Sorry.
not? How could you not? Such a friendly fella.
I was begging for Dick to. Okay, sorry. I'll
yeah,
end
you
it
were
there.
begging for his membership.
Been there.
No,
You were-
I was
You
definitely
were begging for his membership into our group.
Nah, well, I mean, I've moved on to Ira, and now I'm on Mark Brooks. because me and I
Yeah.
are
I
not an
think
item.
the Ace Holes group has gone to pot, which is, I don't know why that's a bad thing, but it has
Gone
because
to pot.
they keep letting all these phony like fake accounts.
I think we need to infiltrate and be like, hey, can the real ace holes
Please stand
please
up.
step
I got you.
over? Please
Yeah, well, the
step
real-
over.
Will the real ace hole please stand up?
Yeah.
I'm not. I feel like
There was a point
I don't
in that
take it
group
easy
where
on any
girls
of
were
those
like
guys.
sharing pictures of their boobs. Remember that, Christina? Or yeah,
It was
remember when people
before
were?
us. It was
Oh,
before
okay.
our time.
All right. Well, there was a day in that group where people used to have fun on Fridays. We used to have the drinks. What do they call it? What do they call the
can't rem-
Friday night thing?
I don't remember. It's been so long. That's why I just like, yeah.
Oh my gosh! Remember, people would post their drink, like their get it on drink.
Yeah,
Mhm.
get on
Yeah.
drink. I did that a
Yeah.
couple times.
Oh
Mhm.
man.
Why
You
were
know,
we?
maybe
And
that's
then
wrong with
Ace
the
started
group. We're not
showing up
getting it
on Hannity.
enough. Yeah.
Then
That's
Ace went
some Canada shit.
mainstream and stuff. And
Yeah. Kylie's
was
ultra
who was
conservative uncle shared ace today. I was like,
who were the people that tried to ambush him with the whole Joe Coy thing? You remember that? Like, I've always wanted to hear that footage.
NPR,
Was it? Oh, I thought it was
Terry,
up
somebody
until-
on NPR or something like that. Some popular series on NPR.
Yeah, I've always wanted to hear that. Dude, if I was him, I would have made a fucking scene to get that audio clip. And he just
It was a different time back then, like
2013 wasn't that different.
Ace wasn't as big as he was.
He's not still doing it.
Ace wasn't like getting on stage and doing on the. He was still kind of like a. I don't know. He wasn't really out there at that point. The
By the way,
podcast, as we know it now, was only like 3 or 4 years old at that point.
Yeah, by the way, I did I tell you when I took Dylan and his girlfriend to see Ace at the new Cap City here in Austin. Or
Oh,
It
was
sounds a
that?
little
they
familiar.
moved
What
into
was
the
it?
domain. Guess who the guest was? Do you remember who that was?
Was it Joe Coy?
No. It was Brian Bosworth. Dylan and his girlfriend Bailey didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like thoroughly enjoying this. I was like, yeah, the fucking boss, man. The place was going crazy, and Dylan and Bailey are just sitting next to me, like confused. They're like, who is this guy? And then like pictures of him come up, and there was like the guy with spiked hair, flat top in the 80s. Like, what? He played for the Seahawks. Like, why do we like him again? The Seahawks before they were cool.
He was like a cult figure for a few years back then.
Cool. That's
The
a little bit of a
balls.
stretch. He was
He was
like very
no,
popular. He wasn't a cult.
It is not a
He took
stretch.
him to mainstream though, right?
He led a cult.
It's not a stretch. Like back then when we didn't have choices, maybe cult's not the right word, but like he was everywhere for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Didn't he have like shirts that had like the spiky hair and like a thing, like the bods? Like it was like a thing. He was like a
Probably.
thing. He was like a cultural phenomenon.
He
I
had
think he-
spiked
I know
hair on
about
his
it.
chest.
I know about it.
I think he was like
No, like-
real big on ESPN back then, coming out of Oklahoma, maybe Oklahoma Sooner. He's one of those like corn-fed university football programs. And yeah, he was big and he was like, wore like he was like early for those Shady Rays, those like
Yeah.
yeah. Like a Hulk. He was like inspired by Hulk Hogan for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely t-shirts. I'm looking.
But then he got
There
hurt.
are.
He got hurt a bunch, or I don't know. But
I
there was
don't
a
know,
few years where no one had a choice, but he was everywhere, like everywhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't by accident.
Mm-mm.
No, it wasn't. You
All right,
guys.
About ready
You
to
right over
wind it
there?
down.
Yeah, you sound like you ran out of steam there.
Hmm?
Sound like you ran out of steam there.
Well, I'm full of steam.
Well,
What else
steam
we
or
talk
up,
about?
baby.
Want to give a quick shout out to the new what was it, Steve hanging out with us early on in the happy hour, and then to the new
Yeah.
subscribers on the YouTube channel. Thank you.
Oh, are we closing?
Yes.
Sorry, I went to grab a drink. I come
I
back.
think
No,
we
no.
could
Quit saying out.
close. We could close and then just have a
Hang
little
out
happy
after.
hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Whatever.
show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, show.
Shout out to Monk in the chat. Everyone
That's
else
a real
that hung out
happy
with us
hour.
too. Yeah, at the happy hour.
Monkey's
Yeah,
uncle.
do we have like an after hours where they can come back in? Or no?
I mean, we
We-
should do
we
that,
can
but
do-
I don't know if
We can
they're
do whatever.
A
we
lot of them
want.
are East Coast.
Yeah, that's the
Ah,
thing.
okay.
So
Oh, okay, sorry.
We can do whatever we want.
That's
Show model,
that
right?
was your last word
Or-
last week. We
What-
do what we want.
And I meant it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. It's always
Thanks
always
for
a good
joining
time
us.
with you. Hell yeah.
I think I like you better on mushrooms. Just kidding.
What?
Just kidding. Last week you said you're on mushrooms. It was
I lied. I wasn't. No, I'm just kidding. I was.
okay.
All right,
Regular
so
is-
we'll close up and then we'll start something. Stay tuned. But I just want to say, there's two kinds of people in this world. Look it up. Those who are deeply moved by Pink Floyd's "A Great Gig in the Sky," and those who are not. Anyway, we're the Endless Ranters. We do what we want.
Get it on.
Ever mentioned that Pink Floyd sucks a dick?